pop quiz. Who's missing from this list of Hollywood starlets? Marilyn Monroe, Ava Gardner.
Ooh, Dorothy Dandridge.
Aced it.
Welcome to Ballin with No Balls.
Dorothy was the first black performer ever nominated for an Academy Award in a leading role.
I thought Sidney Poitier was the first.
Common misconception. Sir Sidney was nominated in 1958. Dorothy Dandridge was nominated in 1954.
I'm scared to ask, but how many black actresses have been nominated for a leading role since then?
11 total in 89 years of Oscar history. Dorothy began performing as a kid alongside her sister Vivian and their friend Etta Jones in the singing trio the Dandridge Sisters. The sisters toured all over the U.S. and Europe from 1934 until 1940 when Dorothy decided to go solo to pursue a film career. In an effort to avoid racially stereotypical casting, Dorothy's film career began with small parts in race films in the 1940s.
What's a race film?
Race films were historically African-American films that were made between 1910 and 1950 that were closely aligned with Booker T. Washington's uplift movement in an effort to bring more racial equality to popular media.
That's amazing. Where can we watch these films today?
Sadly, most race films have since been lost or forgotten since they were made outside of the Hollywood studio system. But they can be seen occasionally on BET ever since the 1980s.
Okay.
Dorothy's big break came when she landed the title role in 20th Century Fox's Carmen Jones in 1954. And for this, she was nominated for Best Leading Actress at the 1955 Academy Awards.
Finally.
Her next leading role came in 1958 when she was cast in Samuel Goldwyn's film adaptation of the musical Porgy and Bess. Dorothy was severely ridiculed by the African-American community for accepting a role that was felt to depict a negative stereotype of black Southern towns, which was exactly what she had been trying to avoid for her entire career. Popular media at the time, of course, did not offer black performers enough options, though, so Dorothy felt she had no choice but to take the role.
Jesus, she just can't win. And wasn't she a civil rights activist?
Yes, she was involved in both the National Urban League and the NAACP as a direct result of the racism she herself experienced in the industry.
So basically, she was doing everything she possibly could to be treated equally, and she was still getting flack for it.
Sad but true. Film historians have said Dorothy would have had so much more success as a leading lady if she didn't have to fight against racism of the 1950s and 60s.
What about her personal life?
Throughout Dorothy's career struggle, she faced an immense number of personal difficulties as well. She became a single mom to her daughter Harolyn, who suffered from brain damage and required constant care when her first husband abandoned them in 1950. Naturally, Dorothy began suffering from depression at this time, which was later exacerbated in 1962 when she divorced again after her abusive second husband stole hundreds of thousands of her hard-earned money.
Holy shit.
Dorothy ultimately died of an accidental antidepressant overdose in 1965 at age 42 with less than $2 in her bank account.
What a tragedy.
Dorothy has been memorialized by her Hollywood Walk of Fame star, as well as HBO's 1999 biopic starring and produced by Halle Berry called Introducing Dorothy Dandridge. The film focuses on how Dorothy was a star born ahead of her time, which she clearly was. Halle Berry dedicated her Oscar win in 2002 for Monsters Ball to Dorothy as a tribute to the starlet.
That's beautiful. Well, cheers to Dorothy.
Cheers. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you next time on Ballin with No Balls.